You chose the most important job in the world. Statistically, you'll be underpaid, overworked, and forgotten by the system you gave everything to. And the worst part? You'll keep showing up anyway. This is what they never told you before you signed the contract. You remember why you wanted this. You were maybe 16, 17. A teacher said something that cracked the world open for you. One sentence. One moment of being truly seen in a classroom where nobody else seemed to care. And you thought, I want to do that. I want to be that person for someone else. That feeling was real. Hold on to it for a second, because it's the most important thing to understand about what comes next. You went to college, studied education, sat through the lectures about learning theories and classroom management and differentiated instruction. You wrote the papers. You passed the tests. You student taught in a school that smelled like linoleum and cafeteria pizza and cheap whiteboard markers. And something clicked. You were good at this. You could feel it. The moment a confused face becomes a face that gets it. The specific silence of a room full of kids who are actually listening. The weight of being trusted with someone's child for 6 hours a day. You graduated. You got the job. You stood in an empty classroom in August and arranged desks and hung posters and thought, this is mine. This is where it begins. You had no idea what was beginning. The first week is everything you imagined. You learn their names faster than you expected. You stay late to grade papers that nobody asked you to grade yet. You spend your own money, $112 at the teacher supply store, buying things for your classroom because the budget they gave you doesn't cover what you need. You tell yourself it's an investment. You call it an investment. The second week, a student throws something across the room, and you handle it calmly and professionally. And later, sitting in your car at 5:47 p.m., you cry for 11 minutes and then check your email and go back inside. This is still normal. This is still the beginning. The third week, a parent emails you at 11 p.m. to tell you that you gave their child a bad grade on purpose, that you have it out for them, that they'll be calling the principal. You spend 40 minutes writing a detailed, evidence-based, professionally respectful response. You hit send. You don't sleep well. By October, you have stopped decorating your classroom. Not because you stopped caring, because you ran out of hours. Here's what they told you teaching would be. They told you it was summers off. They told you it was short days. School ends at 3 after all. They told you it was a noble sacrifice, yes, but a manageable one. Here's what they didn't tell you. The average American teacher works 54 hours per week. The contract says 40. The extra 14 hours are invisible. They exist in the Sunday nights spent lesson planning, in the stack of ungraded papers you carry home every Friday, in the meetings scheduled during what used to be your lunch, in the emails you answer at 9 p.m. because the parent is upset and you don't want it to escalate. You are working a full extra job for free, and you knew this going in. Everyone does vaguely, but knowing and living are different countries with no direct translation between them. By November, you are tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You cancel plans with friends twice in the same month. You tell them you'll explain later. You never really explain. The money hits different when you do the math. You don't do the math for the first year. Instinctively, you know not to. But eventually, someone does it for you. A friend from college, finance or tech, or some field where they measure their hours, mentions their salary. Casually. Not to hurt you. Just conversation. And you do the math. Starting teacher salary in the United States averages around $42,000 a year. Divide that by the actual hours worked, not the contract hours, the real hours. And you are making less than $15 an hour to be responsible for the intellectual, emotional, and social development of 30 human children. You spent $479 of your own money on classroom supplies this year. Studies consistently find that American teachers spend an average of $479 annually out of pocket on their students. The IRS lets you deduct $300. Maximum. You are paying to work, and still, and this is the part that should make you angry but instead just makes you tired, you don't leave, because the kids need you, because September is close, because you told yourself this matters. it does matter. That's the trap. By spring of your second year, you notice something about the teachers around you, the ones who have been there 15, 20 years. You watch them closely now. There's a specific quality to their exhaustion, not the dramatic burnout of someone quitting, but a quieter thing, a managed distance. They've learned to care enough to do the job without caring enough to destroy themselves. You wonder if that's wisdom or surrender. You can't tell yet. Here's the number nobody puts on a recruitment poster. 44% of new teachers leave the profession within 5 years. Not the bad ones, not the ones who shouldn't have been there, the ones who cared so much that the system ground them down. You are watching it happen around you in real time. Colleagues you trusted, who were good, who left and became something else and seem lighter now. Honestly, lighter in a way you notice and feel complicated about. The people who stay are not necessarily stronger. They have often simply found a way to become slightly less of themselves, to metabolize the loss. You haven't learned that yet. You still take it home. Every day you take it home. The specific kind of loneliness that teaching creates is hard to explain to people who haven't lived it. You spend your entire day surrounded by people, 30 students in a room, a building full of colleagues, a community that claims to value what you do. And you are profoundly alone, because the students are yours to care for, not to be cared for by. The relationship only flows one direction, and you chose that, you wanted that, but nobody told you what it would cost over years. Nobody told you that you would know these children more intimately than you know most adults in your life, their fears, their family situations, their specific brand of courage. And then in June, they would walk out the door and most of them would never think about you again. Some of them would forget your name. This is how it should work. This is a success condition. It still costs something. And the colleagues, you like them, some of them are your closest friends now. But inside the building, everyone is surviving. You don't talk about the real things because everyone is already at capacity. The parking lot conversations are logistics. The staff meetings are logistics. The professional development days are 90 minutes of active learning strategies that everyone in the room already knows, delivered by a consultant who has not been in a classroom in 11 years. You sit in those meetings and feel something die very quietly in your chest. The mental health data is not surprising. That's the worst part. It should be surprising. It should land harder than it does. But by the time you find out that teachers have significantly higher rates of anxiety, depression, and stress-related illness than the general working population, you are no longer surprised. You are just nodding. A 2021 RAND Corporation study, one of the largest of its kind, found that teachers reported burnout at nearly twice the rate of the general working population. 57% of teachers described feeling under significant stress most or all of the time. Not some teachers. Most teachers. Most of the people in that building with you, walking those same hallways, smiling at those same kids, carrying the same invisible weight, and mostly not saying so because there is no time and no space, and admitting it feels like failing. You read this in an article someone shares on social media. You save it. You never look at it again. The physical toll is quieter, but it's there. Chronic voice strain affects a significant portion of teachers. It's one of the most common occupational health issues in the profession, and most school systems do not cover the treatment. Teachers have elevated rates of musculoskeletal problems from standing for hours, from bending over desks, from the specific physical labor of a body in motion in a classroom all day. You think about your knees. You have started thinking about your knees. There is a moment, you'll know it when it comes, where you sit in your classroom after everyone has left and you feel the specific silence of it. Not peaceful silence. The other kind. The kind where you look around at the posters you put up, the books you bought, the carefully arranged chairs, and you wonder who this room is for. You've given it everything. Your evenings, your weekends, your nervous system, your 20s, and the room looks exactly the same as it did the first day. A little more worn. A few more student drawings taped to the wall that will come down in June. This is the moment the job asks you a question it has been building toward all along. Not, was it worth it? That's too simple, too answerable. The real question is, what kind of person does a system need you to become in order to survive inside it? And is that person someone you recognize? Because here's the truth nobody prints in the education college brochure. The teachers who burn out don't burn out because they were weak or wrong or didn't love it enough. They burn out because they loved it too specifically. They loved the version of the job where caring was enough, where effort was rewarded, where the relationship between a good teacher and a good outcome was legible and direct. They burn out when they realize that caring is the fuel the system runs on, that their love for the work subsidizes a structure that cannot function without that sacrifice, that the job was designed this way not despite the idealism of its practitioners, but because of it. The system didn't fail you. It worked exactly as designed, just not for you. You will think about quitting. Most of you already have. Some of you will. And you will carry complicated feelings about that for years. Relief and grief at the same time, in the same body, on the same Tuesday afternoon when you realize you don't have to go back. Some of you will stay, and you will find the way the long-timers found it, that managed distance, that practiced equilibrium, and you will do good work inside it, real work, the kind that changes a 16-year-old's life with one sentence at exactly the right moment. And on those days you will remember why you started. And on the other days, the Sundays, the grading, the meetings, the emails at 11 p.m., you will hold that memory up like a flashlight in a dark hallway and hope it's enough to get you to Friday. You chose this. You keep choosing it. Nobody made you. And that's the thing about teaching that breaks the people who do it best. You walked into that classroom to change lives. What nobody told you is that the first life the job would change, quietly, permanently, without ceremony or warning, was yours. The most dangerous thing you can be in a broken system is someone who genuinely cares.